I think that these books, and Game of Thrones too, are books about power. Do you
Yes,
agree?
definitely. Power, the uses of power, the way power does corrupt us, also the way lack of power corrupts us. You know, we all know the saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And there's a great deal of truth in that. But also, I find the desire for power can corrupt us. The lust for power, if you will, makes people do things that maybe they shouldn't do.
Even the people, they don't really know what they want from their leader. Do you agree with me? Because in a way, they want a strong leader, but they also want a generous leader. So it seems to me that the people don't know what he wants from a leader.
I think that's largely true today too.
Yes, well,
But yes, people have always wanted strength in the leaders. Although how you define strength is another issue. But certainly in the medieval times, they wanted leaders who were warriors, who would be victorious in war, bring plunder and glory home, and maybe that was not really the wisest of desires. You know, a king who never went to war, who was uh, led the realm to decades of peace and prosperity, good harvests, economic growth. That would probably be better for most people. But there was this desire to, smash the enemy, to emerge victorious. We have all these medieval battles and poems and stories about the great warrior kings who distinguished themselves in combat. We don't have many stories or songs about the peaceful king who promoted good economic
yes.
growth and issued some good laws for the protection of the people. So people back then maybe were no more wiser than people are today.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah,
asking. Uh, we are not so much different.
I think people have been, hopefully we've learned a few things with the passage of the centuries, and the societies that exist in the world today are, by and large, morally and ethically better than what we had 1,000 years ago. But it's not day and night. People are people, and we still have the same strengths, the same weaknesses, and sometimes the same fears as our ancient ancestors.
In this new book, there is a point that the people try to kill the dragons because they want to be free of
Right.
those kings. But then they can't find a leader. And so, well, this is a spoiler. This won't get them anywhere, nowhere. The people, or we, the people, have to learn a lot more about what is around us, just to be free and create some kind of democracy that it's better than the one that we have today.
Well, I think Westeros is still a long way from democratic republic. There's a lot of history that remains to be written, but certainly I try to explore the pluses and minuses, the advantages and disadvantages of the kind of political unrest and even revolution, if you can say, that goes on at certain points in the novels and in the histories. I mean, if you look at the real world, we're considerably more advanced than Westeros is in the books, and we can look back on the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, things that overthrew the ancient regimes of the past, and there's progress there, but there's also, the French Revolution gave us some amazing documents and liberty, equality, fraternity, but it also gave us the terror. and it also gave us Napoleon and his attempted conquest of all of Europe. So there are dangers. There are dangers as well as advantages. And I try to show these things in all their complexity. You can't and shouldn't simplify these things too much. It's never a case of just heroes, good guys and bad guys.
Good girls or bad girls.
Good girls or bad girls. Yeah, girls can be bad too.
I think, I don't know if you agree with me, that we are living very interesting times with President Trump
a
and
little
Brexit.
too interesting, yes.
Okay. This does not inspire you?
It depresses me more than anything else. We're living in times that I wish were rather less interesting. But no, if I wanted to write about what was going on in real world politics in 2019, I'd write something that was closer to 2019. It's the politics of the Middle Ages that I'm engaged with now, not the politics of today.
You have never had the hunger in you that wants you to tell to something, have you never read the book like that? Something has already happened like this. Don't you know what you're heading to?
No, I feel it all the time. Sometimes I post about that on my blogs. I am a firm believer in, those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. And you never repeat it exactly, though.
Okay.
It's never an exact retread of what it is before. So, but I do see, when I look around today's world, some ominous shadows, some ominous reflections of events of the fairly recent past and of centuries past, and that does alarm me because they're not good reflections. They're not good times I'm seeing. They're very dark and troubled times, full of conflict, and I hope we can all get past that.
I hope to. Thank you very much.
No, my pleasure.